Good morning. How are you today? I thought we might start for the next few weeks to tell the stories that we haven't told for a couple of years, to start at the beginning of the Bible. So, are you ready for a story? Are you sitting still? Can you remember, what is the biggest gift that you've ever received? I wonder what you're saying. The biggest gift I had as a small child was a big doll. She was beautiful. She had a lovely face, red dress, lovely hair. She was so big that she sat in the corner of the room. She was a bit too big to play with, but her name was Marianne. I wonder, have you ever had a gift that grew big, like a dog? They take a different kind of looking after, don't they? They can't be left in the corner of the room. They need care every day. Well, also there are some gifts that are so big you can't really see them until you go back. In fact, the biggest gift of all, you've got to go way back to the beginning, maybe before the beginning. And in the beginning, there was nothing except maybe a really big smile. But there was nobody to see it. And on the first day, God gave the gift of light. So there was no longer just darkness, but there was also light. And not just the light of a light bulb at night or on the car or even in the room, but all the light that light comes from. And God said, "It is good." That was the end of the first day. On the second day, God gave the gift of water. And of course, I don't just mean water in a glass or in your bathtub, or even just the water in a river or an ocean, but all the water that water comes from. And this is the firmament, and it separates the water above from the water below. And God saw the water, and he said, "It is good." And that was the end of the second day. On the third day, God gave the gift of dry land and the gift of green and growing things. And God saw the dry land and the green and growing things, and he said, "It is good." And that was the end of the third day. On the fourth day, God gave the gift of time, a way to tell one day from another. He gave us the daylight and the sun to rule the day, and the lights of the night, the moon and the stars, so we could count our days. And God saw that we could now count our days, and he said, "It is good." And that was the end of the fourth day. On the fifth day, God gave the gift of all the creatures that fly in the sky. And not just the birds, but all the creatures that fly. And all the creatures that swim in the ocean. All of them. And God saw all the creatures that fly and all the creatures that swim. And he said, "It is good." And that was the end of the fifth day. On the sixth day, God gave the gift of all the creatures who walk with 2 legs and the creatures that walk with many legs. Then God saw the creatures that walk with 2 legs and the creatures that walk with many legs. And he said, it is good. And he looked at all the days and he said, it is very good. And that was the end of the 6th day. On the 7th day, God rested. And God gave us a day to rest and to remember the good gifts that he gives. There's nothing there. I don't know where you go to remember and to rest. It might be in your backyard under a tree. It might be at church, or by a river, or in a mountain. Christians mark the day with a cross. And Jewish people have the Star of David. I wonder how you will remember the day of rest. And what is your response? Is there one day that seems more important or more special than the others? Or I wonder, do you think we could take out one day and still have all the days that we need? I wonder. I wonder how you will respond. I wonder what you will do to help remember the story and to help remember God's gifts to us. In the Godly Playroom, we have lots of response materials. And now we're going to show you some of those. We have pencils and paper, and things from inside and outside, all sorts of things that we have gathered together to help us enjoy the stories and respond to them, to help us remember the stories that we have heard and how we feel about them. Sometimes stories really touch us in our heart, don't they? But before we go, I'd like you to imagine you're putting your hand in mine. And I want to remind you that God said that he thought of you when he created all of this, and that you are very, very special to him. God bless.